Hello, my name is Sanjay Ravi, General Manager of Microsoft's Automotive, Mobility, and Transportation business. It's a great pleasure to participate in EcoMotion Week. I'm joined here today by Christoph Hartung, CEO of ETAS, a subsidiary of Bosch that provides innovative solutions for the development of embedded systems for many industries, including the automotive industry. Christoph, welcome. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today about the exciting innovation in the automotive industry, especially in the area of software-defined vehicles.
Sanjay, thank you for having me today, and thanks for having me at EcoMotion Week this year. Really looking forward to exchanging ideas and thoughts on the software-defined vehicle, as this is, from my perspective, the next big thing to come in the automotive and in the mobility industry. Sanjay, how do you think about that?
No, absolutely, Christoph. With the opportunity that we have to drive a different next generation of experiences with vehicles and mobility services, software-defined vehicle is right in the center of enabling that transformation. In fact, the partnership that we recently announced between Microsoft and Bosch to focus on the software-defined vehicle platform is a fantastic initiative in that regard. From your perspective, how do you see this partnership bringing value to our joint customers? But also, how can, since we are here in EcoMotion, how can the Israeli community of partners engage with this ecosystem that we are working on together?
That's a great question, Sanjay. Thanks for that. If you're seeing what we're actually doing and pushing together from an ETAS and also Bosch perspective, joining forces with Microsoft, really bringing the on and the off-board parts together to really drive the software-defined car and the software-defined vehicle forward to the next level on how to develop automotive functions, safe and secure, of course. I think we are opening up a complete new paradigm on how to move forward in automotive systems and automotive services development. What does that mean? That means that these ecosystems will be open for companies to contribute, to share. And we are standardizing the way on how functionality can be deployed into the vehicle from the cloud and back to learn and adapt by leveraging AI and machine learning. And coming back to your question, Sanjay, what does this mean for our partners in Israel and all over the world, but also especially in Israel? We think, and we both actually definitely buy into that, we say this is something we really need to collaborate on. We need partners to drive innovation together with us and to really move. And from that perspective, we invite all Israeli startups to really build on that platform together with us to provide innovative services. Mean it in the data side, where I personally think the startup community is very strong in Israel, but also on the security side, and of course on innovative services like ADAS. So what about you, Sanjay? What would you see what Microsoft is actually bringing to the table in terms of technology, and also your view on the cloud and leveraging AI really moving forward in the software-defined vehicle?
Yeah, I think, Christoph, as you mentioned, no one company can support all of the needs of the industry, and it's absolutely critical for the ecosystem of partners to come together and for all of us to play a role in also fostering that ecosystem. So Microsoft for Startups, we support thousands of startups in the Israel region and also across the world. In fact, Microsoft opened its acceleration program almost a decade ago with some of the most successful startups going through its programs, startups like AppFlyer, Axonize, Spot, and several others. So in addition to the support we provide to our program members, we're also working with more than 100 investors and acceleration programs to support their portfolio companies. So Microsoft for Startups in Israel runs a unique acceleration program. It's called AI for Good, to support AI-based startups And we actually just launched the second batch in May. Some of the automotive startups that benefit from this program include an example of that is Fleet Autonomy, which is an AI-based optimization solution for fleets and autonomous vehicles. So Christoph, coming back, and we talked a little bit about the ecosystem and also software-defined vehicle. Actually, it'd be good to get your view on how you would characterize software-defined vehicles. There's a lot of different definitions out there today. I would love to get your perspective on how you look at software-defined vehicles and how that is driving the evolution for the automotive industry at large.
Well, I personally think that there are three major paradigms which are currently evolving into this new world of software-defined vehicles. First of all is the evolving of new EE architectures. We are talking of high compute, high centralized compute infrastructures in the vehicle with an Ethernet backbone. We're talking of zonal architectures, and we're talking of smart sensors and smart actuators. Meaning the second paradigm that we are shifting away from highly integrated systems of hardware, software, and services on top of one box, an ECU, and connecting the ECUs with a small bus system like a CAN bus something. So the separation of hardware and software is the second principle. And then, of course, connectivity in the cloud. We are connecting the car as an IoT device into the cloud and really leveraging a complete new set of services which can be actually deployed from the cloud, pushing to the edge and leveraging intelligent edge capabilities in the vehicle. And by this, we are revolutionizing the way on cars and services in the car and in the cloud can actually be deployed, managed, and actually bring value to the life cycle of their users, mean it on a B2C perspective, in a B2B perspective, or in an MSP perspective. So really enabling the next level of highly automated vehicles in the future. Mm-hmm. So what if we look back at this specific point? Where do you think, Sanjay, can we come together to really create this synergy of both companies in our partnership, and also inviting others by really joining forces?
Yeah, actually, you touched on a few areas there, Christoph, in terms of the opportunity for both of us. And on the Microsoft side, really focused on bringing technology and capabilities that supports the requirements both on the intelligent cloud as well as the edge, as you mentioned earlier. So our focus as Microsoft is to make sure automakers can fully enable what we call the digital feedback loops directly from the end vehicle or service. Now, these digital feedback loops, along with open data standards and AI, with these, we now have an opportunity to really deliver context-specific customer experiences. And this is required throughout the usage of the vehicle or the mobility service lifecycle. So as you mentioned, the intelligence in the cloud and the edge is an area where Microsoft is investing a lot, partnering with many players in the industry and the ecosystem. And we believe this will play a critical role to support both the feedback loops, but also provide the capabilities automakers would require to build their own differentiated digital platforms. And our partnership is a great example of how these things are coming together because end of the day, every one of the automakers and mobility service providers require their own differentiated platforms, and they need these underlying capabilities to make sure they can drive the innovation at the pace that is required today. So, Christoph, talking about digital platforms and ecosystems, what's your view on open ecosystems and open source? And what role can startups play to support software-defined vehicles as well as the mobility ecosystems?
Well, I personally think that if you really want to disrupt and really bring this to the next level, we have to highly interconnect services in the automotive, but also in the complete mobility industry. we are integrating vehicles in all various kinds of transport modes in a city, on a highway, or somewhere in a suburban environment for as one topic. Really moving forward, it really comes to the point that if you want to collaborate and if you really want to build new services which can be integrated into these vehicles for whatever business model they're actually driving for, you need to be open. You need to be open that everybody can actually co-innovate and contribute to the services in these fleets. So from that perspective, we also think that the complexity in today's system of the edge and the cloud needs an open infrastructure in order to drive innovation moving forward. Meaning that if everybody who really is joining the efforts and by contributing to the platform is really gaining momentum for their respective services, really moving forward in the mobility industry. Because once we are entering into the new phases of autonomous driving and autonomous vehicles, there will be quite new opportunities for new services we can actually bring into the vehicle or really bring into your customers who are sitting in these vehicles. So we think that with this interconnectedness, moving into the future, the ways on how to define just a system which is only for yourself cannot actually provide the customer centricity and benefits what is actually expected by our customers, and we cannot drive innovation as fast as we want to.
Absolutely.
So from that perspective, really seeing the role of data and the role of ecosystems in the software-defined vehicle and the innovation Microsoft is bringing forward in the vehicles. What is something you would like to share, Sanjay, with our?
Yeah, actually, Christoph, as you mentioned, it's really, really important from a technology provider standpoint to support these open ecosystems. And there are a number of capabilities we are investing specifically focused on the needs of the automotive and mobility industry at large. And I would touch on three things today. One of them would be GitHub, the role of data models, and finally, this whole evolution of the digital twins and how we can use that to represent physical objects and drive all kinds of simulation and modeling. So if you look at GitHub, today auto companies are really focused on building deeper and deeper competencies around software. And this is a critical area of focus for them to drive the innovation that is required. And bringing in advanced DevOps capabilities, making sure you have the right CI/CD efforts in place is critical. Now, GitHub plays a key role here. We have an opportunity with GitHub from moving from the whole code to cloud to requirements to car to enable developers so that they can focus on what is really important, which is driving a lot of the differentiated problem solving that is required in this space. I talked about data models. The common data models is also playing a key role. When we talk about these ecosystems having to partner with each other, the common data model for vehicles can allow data to be leveraged and to be turned into business by partners in an ecosystem. So this is really important. It allows third parties to offer their services faster and at a larger scale. And the last area that I'll highlight today is the whole role of the digital twins. And we are working on the digital twin definition language. Now, having a digital twin as a representation of the vehicle is the future basis to become more agile and to enable faster time to business, especially when it comes to crucial services like over-the-air updates. A digital twin will also play a crucial role to enable digital simulations across the whole engineering cycle. So that's kind of a few examples, Christoph, of areas that we are working on. And of course, with the partnership we have with Bosch and others in the industry, we hope to bring these technologies to the market with the partner ecosystem so we all can be part of this co-innovation journey and reduce the effort involved, but also bring innovation to the market faster. So I believe we are coming to the end of our time here today, Christoph. So in closing, I would say that the innovation, the pace of innovation that we are seeing in auto, supported by these technologies like software-defined vehicle, will play a pivotal role. And looking forward to working with you, Christoph, and your team, and rest of the Israeli ecosystem as we drive the innovation together in the market. It's been a great pleasure talking with you, Christoph, today. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to the work that we have going on with the broader ecosystem, with a focus on making the whole automotive and mobility industry a place that drives a more safer, more sustainable, and productive environment for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.